No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed are greater than the quality of the legal services provided by other lawyers. I'm Harry Still. You've reached the Backstory Podcast. This is a special election time edition, and we are joined by Daphne Mayoral candidate, and as I understand it, current City Council President, Robin LeJeune.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How are you this morning?
Doing great. Thank you for having me on.
So I understand. So if you're the council president, you obviously currently represent a council district. Which district is that? And generally, what part of town?
Sure. I represent District 6, which is Lake Forest. It's the middle of Lake Forest. It's all Lake Forest currently.
All right. So how long have you been in office?
I have been in office since 2012, so this will be almost 8 years.
So you've done 2 terms on the council, and now you want to move up to the mayor position, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
All right. So tell me about your campaigning strategy besides doing Facebook videos. Are you going to try to go door to door? What are you going to do and try to social distance? And in the campaigning in the time of COVID, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's really a intriguing way of having to campaign now with COVID. But we are door to door, grassroots. We're wearing masks, a whole group. We go pick a neighborhood. We go door to door. We hand out pamphlets. We knock on the door. We stand way back, more than 6 feet. So, excuse me, people are comfortable when they come to the door. We offer the pamphlet if they don't want to take it, or we can leave it or hand it to them. And then we just talk about what we're doing in our campaign. It's been very positive. We haven't had anyone really be upset that we were going door to door. So it has been a positive response.
Okay.
Just the precautions we take. It's different now because with the mayoral race, 27,000 residents in the city. It's hard to do door to door, and a lot of times you try to meet up in big groups. The Kiwanis Club meetings and POA meetings and things of that nature to try to get your message out. And with COVID, not a lot of those meetings are not happening. So you try to do the social media, the Facebook, and then it's back to just knocking on doors.
So you have an advantage over a lot of us who are running because you own several businesses in the area. You have the LeJeune's Market by the Bay, which is a seafood restaurant / seafood market right across 98 from my law.
Right. Yes, sir.
So you'll have an opportunity to see people as they come in if they care to. And then you also own a market in Fairhope. Is that right? Didn't y'all recently open something down there?
Yeah, we've been in Daphne for, 16 years. And then we've had the location in Fairhope for over 13 years.
All right, so let's talk some policy issues. I guess the first one that I take up with everybody because of my former profession, I want to know about professional management and if you see a need for a city administrator, or do you think you guys have department heads in place that can handle the job without a centralized authoritarian?
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the city manager, city administrator?
Well, with our current mayor, Dane Haygood, early on, he had requested some help because the city our size is pretty big, and we've created a position called city operations. It's more of a not a total city manager, but a director that can help with some of those things, directing other directors and take some of the load off of the current mayor.
I've seen that in other cities, and typically they're over all the administrative functions and maybe not police and fire or something like, they're over public works and recreation and administration and personnel.
Right.
but a few of those departments still left out. So, okay, well, I guess that's a good thing. So let's talk about less lethal weapons for your police department. A few months ago, Daphne Police Department shot and killed a someone who allegedly was mentally disturbed and brandishing a handgun. And one of the things that I've talked exhaustively about is non-lethal weapons such as beanbag shotguns or taser shotguns. Is that something that you're going to push if you are mayor, for your police officers to have an additional arsenal besides lethal weapons, or just letting society devolve? I mean, nobody's advocating that.
No, we put confidence in our leadership in our police department here in Daphne. We've been very fortunate to have some very good leadership there. Now, as far as non-lethal things that you were talking about, I am for giving our police officers everything that they need to protect themselves and to protect the citizens. And if we can keep someone from getting killed, I'm all for that. I believe that's, but I do have a lot of confidence in our police department. They handle themselves very professionally. They have taken care of things inside the police department that the public did not outcry about, but they handled it internally and got rid of people. So I have a lot of confidence in our police department. And I will be glad to sit down with them and talk to them about what we can do to help provide them with anything that they need. And if that's something that can work, I'm all for it. Preserving human life, no matter who it is,
certainly
is something that my faith.
So let's talk about something a little more exciting. Oh, there's a waterfront park project going on right now. Just give me a little thumbnail of it. There was an old park, and it wasn't very user friendly. Is that right? Is that accurate? And so,
well, we have our bayfront area with a smaller pier. It did have a building that was used for rentals and things of that nature. The problem with the building was it was old, it had deteriorated some, and because of some grants we gotten from the government, you couldn't upgrade it until a certain time period, and it became more feasible for us to just tear that building down. Now it opens up that area. So what we've done is we've created a bayfront drive that we are investing a lot of money into, that came from our lodging tax. So it's already paid for through our bayfront and portion of the lodging tax, that bayfront portion. So it is the majority of it's being paid for out of that. There is a little bit that the city is taking out of its general fund to finish it, but it'll have on-street parking, pavers, and of course roadway all the way down to the bayfront, sidewalks, underground utilities. So it's really going to be a nice gateway to
Robin,
our
bayfront. What's the name of the park? Is it called Bayfront Park?
Yes, it's Bayfront. Yes, sir. It's Bayfront Park.
All right. And so when y'all gonna light that firecracker?
Sir?
When are you gonna get started on that project, redevelopment?
We are hopefully going to be starting very soon, within the next few months. That project will start. And then
so
once
is there a set of plans that people can go look at online?
I'm not sure if they're online, but I will make sure that we get those put out to everyone.
Okay,
I will make sure that.
I'm not sure. Attach it to the video.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the city has those plans online right now or not. So I'll look into making sure we get those out there to everybody.
So let's talk about growth and planning. And obviously, Daphne is very dense. You have one of the largest subdivisions in the world that I know of in your city, and look to continue to grow even when you think you can't grow anymore. they tear down Gaffer's and build a mall. They
Right.
they tear down the old Sam's Club and build a hospital on the worst damn piece of property in Alabama. I still don't understand why they built that. But anyway, Daphne continues to grow, and it seems like a lot of growth is happening out 181 way. And in particular, I wanted to ask you about the DISC project.
Sure.
Where is that? And do you think it was a good investment in the future, or do you think it was folly? I really don't know.
Well,
let's
go back to the growth real quick, because that was a big question, and then you want to go into DISC. The growth out 181 is we've hired a gentleman by the name of Troy Strunk, who's head of community development, and right now one of the reasons we're moving to the mayor position is some things that we've seen from the top that we think need to be addressed, and that's growth. And we need to get him a little more involved in this. That's what his job is. So we've got some people in place with our planning. Adrian Jones, who does an outstanding job in our planning department. We want to get them more involved with what's going on out there at 181. Now, I attempted to put in or at least bring the conversation of the city school system a few years back. And that was twofold. It was one reason for us to kind of help manage some of that growth, because if you have a city school system and the neighborhood wants to come in and they want to come into your school system, because more than likely it's going to be top notch, they're going to have to play ball with you to be in the city. Right now, a lot of development 181, they can come to the city and say, hey, we want to be in the city, but if we make it too difficult for them, they'll say, well, we'll just build in the county, same property. We're going to have to deal with all the same issues of them coming in, but we don't have as much control or part of the property tax that comes in to help take care of that infrastructure.
So can I give you a little roadmap to take care of that?
Sure.
I used to be a community development director here in Alabama. And one of the things we did to control that was the council and the utility board got together and they came up with a policy that said Alabaster is not going to provide sewer outside of its city limits. And that put the damn kibosh on any high density development, residential, right at the border, or any kind of commercial development that was going to require sewer. So anyway, that's a
definite idea that we'll discuss. I mean, we don't want to just stop growth. You just can't do that.
But you don't want 10,000 more cookie cutter rooftops either.
Right. No, I understand. Like I said, we've got to manage that growth, and that's Harry. That's an idea that I haven't heard before, and we're gonna we look at all ideas. We don't. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, so I try to take advice from everybody and look at all different ideas and bring it to the attention of the people that are doing that. So we're going to look at that and move forward with sensible plans and work with these developers, work with the county, and work with our planning
Metropolitan
Commission.
So you have your own MPO on the Eastern Shore now. In other words, the federal dollars aren't. The MPO over in Mobile is not in charge of road and bridge projects in our area.
That is correct. We have the Eastern Shore.
Somebody to the MPO, Daphne City.
The mayor is on the MPO, and a city council person is on the MPO. So right now we have Mayor Haygood, who's actually chairman of the MPO, and Ron Scott, who is a city councilman who is on the MPO for Daphne also.
Well, if you have to go to MPO meetings, take a big cup of coffee. I used to be on the Birmingham MPO, and those are the worst, most boring, most important meetings you'll ever go to.
Well, they are very important, and we've been lucky to have done very well with our MPO and being able to share that with the rest of the county and Fairhope and surrounding areas. So it is a working. You have to have a working relationship with your surrounding area because they all have a spot on the MPO. Mayor of Fairhope. They have a city council from Fairhope on there, mayor from Spanish Fort. So it is a diverse group. So you do have to work together to get things done in your city. So that's a good thing about the MPO. Now, I wanted to answer the question about the disc project you had a little earlier.
Yes, sir.
When that was brought to our attention by the mayor, the Industrial Development Board is the one that is doing this. They're a state constitutional board. They have the ability to borrow money. They have the ability to do certain things. So bringing it through them, and they get a portion of our lodging tax for them to do this. At the time, it seems like a very good idea. It's right by the high school. The property is on Champions Way and 181, right next to Daphne High School.
Let me give everybody a definition. It's the Daphne Innovation and Science Complex, or DISC.
Yeah.
It's a 75-acre master planned campus for Class A office and research space.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the goal was to get your tech companies high-end office space, because we didn't have any here in Daphne or really on the Eastern Shore, to try to entice some of these tech companies, some of these companies out of California or anywhere around, to come into and set up spots in Daphne where we have the property, or the IDB owns the property. We've built the infrastructure and been able to do that with some federal grants that we were able to procure. And so then you have this already set up where all you have a company has to do is come in and just actually build the building. So it takes some of the load off of them of property purchase, infrastructure. So it's to entice them to come in and build the building. Now, of course, now with COVID, how does Class A office space fill into that with people working at home? We don't know. But there are opportunities. There are college campus opportunities. There are other opportunities to use this property and move it forward. And like I said, our IDB board is the one that is in charge of that project. So we were working with them. I know they're working hard on it and seeing what we can do and how we can move forward in a COVID, after COVID.
So you built the technology park and it's available, but you don't have no one is located there yet. Is that accurate?
No, that is correct. No one is located there yet. We do have the infrastructure ready to go. I mean, it's already there. And now, and then the goal is also on 181, there are parcels there that to help manage this and help fund this project without city dollars going into it. Now, we have loaned the IDB some money from city dollars, and they've paid back portion of it already. But we're not, the city is not just completely funding this project. And there's some parcels from 181 that they want to sell off to retail businesses on 181 to help fund this project further. So it's not a city-funded public money, city tax money funded project. It is there is city money that was loaned to the IDB. They paid portion of that back. They have a payment once they get their first building in. They have a payment process to pay the remainder of it to the city. So it was a loan. It was not a donated money to move this project forward. And they have a large federal grant that they were able to use to further this project on.
All right, I got to change gears on you real quick. So
Sure.
On our little program that we do, we have had the Mobile Baykeepers on several times. Cade Kessler and Ms. Calloway have been nice enough to come on with us a few times. One of the big issues that we deal with here, my grandmother lives in Daphne. I had another grandmother in Fairhope for a while, and I just don't understand people moving to the bay and not being able to swim in the bay because of the water quality. And so that's sewer has been a big issue for us here. And of course, the Baykeeper says Daphne Utilities is a problem child. And you guys appoint the members to the Daphne Utility Board. Do you feel like they're doing a good job? Are you looking to change some things on the board, make some different appointments, or do you think that they're in good shape?
Well, there's a couple of things there. I'm currently sitting on the Daphne Utilities Board, a council member, and the mayor all sit on the Daphne Utility Boards, and then the other three are put on by the city council.
Right. So ultimately, the people in the council are responsible for the people on the utility board.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct. So now I was put on about a year and a half ago when Daphne Utilities had a large problem of spills and things of that nature. And when I got on in that large spill that we had, I was just very upset. You can look the minutes. I was dumbfounded about what was going on, why it was happening. I had great concern, and that was one of the reasons I had asked to be put on the utility board. And so we have worked hard to try to mitigate those things. We have put in new staffing, which are in their positions. We hired higher certified people for each position. In the last year since we've done that, we have cut the amount of skills with Daphne Utilities to where this last couple of months, when you had these huge these large rains, Daphne Utilities didn't have a spill. When the Fairhope one happened a couple of weeks ago, Daphne Utilities did not have a spill. The latest spill that happened at Daphne Utilities was an outside contractor who decided to pump some stuff. Now
you're on it. You guys are on it. We don't need to worry about Daphne Utilities anymore.
Right. And also Daphne Utilities and the city have come together and are testing more sites than ADEM are on a monthly basis, and we are putting those test results on Daphne Utilities website and the City of Daphne's website, that you can go all the test results from the last. I think we started this last maybe November, December. It might even be before that, but we're paying, and Daphne Utilities has helped pay for additional testing along the bay in Daphne, and giving those test results freely to the public. So it is something that I am, as a fisherman and a conservative individual, along with everybody that is a resident of this area who wants to protect our waterways, because they are a huge part of our life in our area, and we've got to fight to protect them.
Well, I don't know if you can tell, but I have on my CCA hat. So I'm a outdoorsman myself, and about 5 years ago, I put in right there at Doleave Creek and paddled up to the Weir Dam behind the spillway behind the mall. And when I got home, I took my bathing suit off. I had on a green bathing suit, and it was a sit-on-top kayak. So some water got in there, and it bleached the backside of my green bathing suit. There was so much chlorine in Doleave Creek. So I know it was a problem, and I'll take you at your word that you have it handled, but it was really bad for a really long time.
Yes, sir. So we understand, and it's a continual fight. And, one of the things I've done with the city was able to, we had a boat ramp at Mayday Park, and that had caused some sediment issues and flow of sand, so we had to take it out. So what I did was, there's a boat ramp at the Lake Forest Yacht Club that was owned by Lake Forest that had been deteriorated and they weren't taken care of. So what we did as a city is we have got that as a public boat launch. We were able to repair it. We've done dredging out there, so you can launch your boat and get out and not worry about how high the tide is and how low it is because you can't get out. So we've invested in the city, knowing that the bay is an asset, and we want people to be able to use that asset. So there is a open public boat launch at the Lake Forest Yacht Club that is city. We are leasing that and have repaired it and dredge that area. So we're very excited about that.
All right. So anything personal you'd like to relate to us? Where do you go to church? How many children do you have? And you may not want to tell anybody that, but here's your opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. LeJeune.
Yeah, I've been blessed. Married to my wonderful wife of 24 years. Well, coming up the 31st will be 24 years. I have 3 wonderful children, Alexis, Liberty, and Xander. Both of them have gone to Daphne Public Schools. Xander is still in high school. So we're very excited and proud to go Trojans. We go to Crossroads Church in Bay Minette. We've been going there for about a year now. With that, just happy to be part of Daphne. We moved here 14 years ago. Had the business here for 16 years, but moved from the Chickasaw area in Mobile to Daphne, and we've enjoyed it very much. Been a big part of this community, and of course the Fairhope community. So we've loved the Eastern Shore, and just want to continue to make Daphne great. Continue some of the things. I've been proud to complete projects, the Daphne Sports Complex. That project happened because my daughter played softball. And when she was little, we would go to Tryon Park, and she could only practice a couple of days a week because you had to share park time with the men's softball team. And then Lott Park had all the boys' baseball teams, and they're there till late at night, but they had weeks of practice. And then we went over and saw Spanish Fort build Spirit Park. And I was upset that a city of our size didn't have a place for the kids to all play, and Spanish Fort was able to do it before us. So I took that on as a mantle of, we got it together, and the rec board and everybody around me told me that you couldn't do it. It was too big of a project, and it'll never happen to Daphne because Daphne doesn't do those things. And so I took that as a personal fight, and we got it done. And we've got one of the best complexes in the state. And if you haven't been out there at Golf Park Drive, I would love to take you, drive you around, show you what we've been able to do while still paying down the debt. We started, when I got on council, we started with a $42 million debt. Currently now we're down to 36, including we added 12 million bonds for the sports complex, and we still have been able to pay it down to 36. So we are doing the right things, paying down our debt and conserving while being able to do projects for our youth. And that is the main goal of mine as a business person, is to make sure that we're able to pay our bills and then see what we can do after that and move projects forward. So
Mr. LeJeune, I hate to drag the needle across the record, but you do have a lot of debt. And
started out with a lot of debt.
A whole lot on sales tax in Daphne. And have you looked at the perspective of what this is going to do to your budget in the fall, COVID? I mean, do y'all expect a dramatic shortfall in sales tax revenue? I think everybody does.
Harry, here's the problem. As a small business owner, this stat right here upsets me more, but as a city leader, you sit back and go, wow, we are very fortunate to be in this bubble that we are in Daphne, Alabama.
Right.
But during the COVID time, when all of the small businesses were closed or limited, the Daphne sales tax
was going gangbusters, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Daphne sales tax revenue did not take a hit because the winners of the COVID lottery were Walmart, Sam's Club, Home Depot, Lowe's, and because the amount of money they made, it didn't affect the sales tax revenue for the city of Daphne. Now,
that's insane.
It did affect our lodging tax, of course. I mean, we have taken a huge hit on the lodging tax, which goes to fund some of these side projects.
So your lodging tax is dedicated to debt service or some sort of project in particular?
Well, the lodging tax is broken down to bayfront, recreation, IDB, and downtown redevelopment.
Okay.
So our projects we try to fund with lodging tax money now. That has taken a large hit, but the sales tax for the city has not. It has stayed the same and gone forward. Now, of course, the fall coming, we expect just in general things to slow down because they normally do with back to school. But we will see how COVID continues because Daphne has been very lucky to be in this bubble. Now we expect it to affect us. We do expect that. So we are planning for that and looking for that as we speak. But as of right now, it has not taken the effect that everyone else might have seen.
Interesting. Well, we went a little long, but being an incumbent, you had a little more information that I wanted to extract. Yeah. I certainly appreciate your time. We wish you luck. And I'll say, your place is right across the street from mine. And whether win, lose, or draw, you got the best fried fish on the Eastern Shore, and you are where I buy my seafood from when I can't go fishing myself or shrimp.
Well, we do appreciate it.
And we enjoy your business and wish you luck, sir.
Hey, thank you, and good luck to you, Harry. We appreciate it, and anytime y'all want to talk, I'm always here. So thank you.
Thanks, Robin.
And the election is August 25th. It's not the same as the national election. It is August 25th. So want to make sure everybody knows that and gets out and vote, and they can absentee vote. The state has come out and said that if you're afraid of COVID, you can't absentee vote. You want to select the second box on your absentee registration. It states about not being physically ill. That is, you can use that if you're afraid of COVID and getting out. So there's no excuse. Pick up your ballot, your absentee registration if you want to ballot that way, or come out and vote August 25th. Thank you.